Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pastor Jerone TV. Had somebody ask me a question. Am I an African American? Well, um, yes, I am. But what does that have to do with my political position? See, we need to stop that. We need to stop all of the emotional and race stuff and get down to the heart of all this stuff. Really, this whole political stuff really around the country and around the world is spiritual. It's a spiritual thing. I want you to ask yourself this. What happened to evil? Did it dissipate? Did it leave? And what happened to good? Did it leave? Did it go away? Does it exist? Where did evil come from? It came from a spiritual being who was so evil that he could no longer abide in heaven with God. That particular evil being came down into the earth, and he persuades people. Okay, not demon spirits. He persuades people to do his bidding. Okay? And then God, through his Holy Spirit, he guides us into righteousness and in truth. Those of us who allow him to lead us and guide us, because the Spirit of God is very gentle. He's a guide. He's not going to force us to do it. We have to be willing to do it. And we have to be willing to hear his voice. Okay, with that said, there are good people in the earth and there are bad people in the earth. There is light and there is dark. Okay? There's evil and there is good. There is a right and there's a wrong. Okay? Regardless of the color of their skin. Stop looking at that. Stop it. Because there's some, if you could have people your same color who are willing to cheat on your wife, cheat on their husband, they're willing to sex with your kids, they're willing to lie to you, they're willing to deceive you. Everybody, so stop the color stuff. What we have to do is see the spiritual side of this, because what's really going on is spiritual. Honestly, for real. For real. No, all games aside, all jokes aside, we are in the middle of a spiritual warfare, and it's getting deep and it's getting real. Right? There's a spiritual warfare going on, and you have folks who are supposed to be spiritual with titles like prophets, prophetess, pastors, priests, all of this. And they, from my point of view and from the Bible's point of view, have sided with the spirit that opposes God. And I'm going to say it like this. The spirit that opposes God is willing to murder children. The unborn children, and those very unborn children, they're willing to murder them to the day that they're born. Okay? God never did that. God never wanted that. God doesn't want that. Okay? Then if God doesn't want it, what spirit wants that? What spirit wants that? And see, they come in with this little sneaky little deception stuff about, oh, women have a right to do what they have to do with their bodies. Well, ripping up a baby is not your body. Ripping a baby out of your body is not your body. You're going to get up off the table and you're going to go out there and live. All right? And you're probably going to do the same stuff again. You're going to fornicate and lay around with men and then come back and rip up another life. You think that's God? Is that good? Is that a good thing? Is that glorious? Does that please God? That's a Democrat platform, and it's a demonic teaching. Okay? So we're not talking about the rights of a mother. We're talking about murder. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about evil, and we're talking about good. Now, our president, he is unfunding that evil. He's taking money away from that because he sees that as evil. He is the only president that went to the pro-life marches. Pro-life. He's the only president that did that. President Obama before him and President Clinton don't believe in pro-life. They believe in choice. And that choice is murder. So what I'm saying is that President Donald Trump says that he's the chosen one, and a lot of these pastors and preachers, black ones, getting only one chosen one. Ain't nobody chosen but Jesus. No, that's a lie. Jesus was never chosen. Jesus was with God in the beginning. Have you not read that in 1 John? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the Word was God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The Word created the heavens and the earth. He had no beginning and he had no ending of days, so he couldn't be chosen. But the Bible gives him a unique title. And that title is that he is the only begotten Son of the Father. That's a uniqueness that no angel, no man, no prophet has ever had that title except for Jesus Christ. Because it's a uniqueness. Because a body thou hast made for me that I might go down and redeem man. But he was Emmanuel, God among us, wrapped in flesh. Now, God does choose men and women to do his bidding. We are the chosen. Those who accept the call of God to do the work of God are the chosen ones. But with that said, President Donald Trump, when he said that, it wasn't even in that context. It wasn't even in divine context. It wasn't even in the calling of God context. It was in the context that he was saying that no one is standing up to China. No president prior to him stood up to China. And he's the only one that's standing up to China because China has been taking our money. They've been taking our money for years. I mean, he said $500 billion a year. And he says, I'm the only one standing up for this. And he says, I could have taken the easy road. I could have just said, hey, let them keep taking the money. He said, my life would be much easier. But I just cannot stand by and let somebody do this to our country. Okay? Do you know how evil is? Most of you people, you just think life is just, it should be fair. Life is just fair, and I give you this and you give me that, and that's not, no, evil doesn't operate like that. Evil is evil. It will deceive, it will lie, it will kill, it will do everything it takes to have its way. All right? And a lot of that evil has landed in the Democrat Party. I've seen it. I have seen it, and I'm seeing it. When a political party tells you that they want to kill the babies, when they tell you that same sex is going to be the thing that happens in our country, although it's against God, although God said it's an abomination, it's a particular type sin. The 2 times in the Bible that an abomination took place that God took action on was when angels came down and had sex with animals and women and reproduced. God wiped that out. He wiped that abomination out. Because that was not God's design for human life or animal life, nor for the angels. Then the other time he did it was at Sodom and Gomorrah, and he wiped them out because the men were laying with men, and they even tried to have sex with the angels, and God wiped them out. So God does not take pleasure in that particular type of lifestyle. And if we as Christians see that God doesn't take pleasure in that lifestyle, why are we voting for it? It's a particular evil against God. It's an evil against God. It doesn't satisfy God. And you know what? Time doesn't change God's mind because God is above time. God is an eternal spirit. And he made this small little fraction of eternity called time. And this little fraction of thing called time does not change his mind. He's still the same yesterday, the same today, and forevermore. He's not going to change. And I don't care how educated you become and how loving you become for your neighbor, you got to love God first. And if my neighbor is offending God, well, then I'm going to let my neighbor know you are offending God and you're offending me with that. All right, and you're offending this country because this stuff, the murder of children and this LGBT agenda is destroying the world and the country as we know it. And the America that you grew up in and I grew up in is not going to be the same for our children and grandchildren if we don't stop this evil. There is evil and there is good, and it does not matter what color it is. It gets into people, and people believe it, and they agree with it, and they are willing to do it. Hey, listen, I got to get on in here to work, and I want you all to have a pleasant day. If you would like to support my ministry, support my work, you can do so. I have my PayPal link here. I have my Cash App. Love to have your support and your prayers. God bless.